Okay, hello guys. So continue lang natin na yung naputol natin na illustration before sa investment in associate na topic natin. So illustration number 3 tayo. Sabi dyan, on January 1, 2025, our company acquired 20% of the ordinary shares of an associate for 6 million pesos. 20%, may significant influence ba? Yes, so i-classify mo yun as investment in associate. Magkano daw yung cost? 6 million pesos. On this date, all the identifiable assets and liabilities of the associations or of the associate were recorded at fair value. An analysis of the acquisition showed that goodwill of 300,000 was acquired. Actually, yung goodwill diniscuss pa yan sa libro. Pero for our discussion purposes, huwag natin i-discuss si goodwill kasi hindi mo naman yan i-recognize. Si goodwill, nire-recognize mo lang yan kapag usapang business combination na tayo. Okay, so irrelevant na yan to discuss in this topic. Next, meron daw net income ng 2025 na 3 million and nag-declare or nagbayad ng dividends ng 1 million. For 2026 naman, 4 million daw yung net income, then nagbayad ng 1,500,000 na dividends. In December 2025 daw, the associate sold inventory to Aura for 900,000. The cost of the inventory was 600,000. This inventory remained unsold by Aura on December 31, 2025. However, it was sold by Aura in 2026. So mag-focus muna tayo dito sa paragraph na yan. So ito yung isa sa malupit na problema ng financial accounting. So mas mahirap to pag-usapang consolidation na tayo. Pero nasa AFAR na yon. Pero unlucky, medyo malas-malas tayo kasi mapapahapyawan natin sa investment in associate. Ano yan? Yung pinoproblema natin ng halos lahat yan. Intercompany transactions. Okay? Mahirap yan, pero pag medyo nagamay mo, promise, masaya magsagot ng ganitong mga problems. Okay, sige ha. Ano natin? Dahan-dahanin natin. Sabi dyan ulit muna, in December 2025 daw, si associate. Si associate. Ano ulit yung sabi natin before? Investor, tapos si associate. Anong sabi? Si associate daw nagbenta ng inventory kay Aura. Sino si Aura? Siya yung investor. Tapos si associate nagbenta. So si associate nagbenta kay investor. Anong tawag dyan? Ano? Upstream sale. Upstream transactions. Walang E. Blocks. Upstream transactions. Ito. Ang sabi natin, sabi ko before, sa discussion natin last time, kapag ganyan na nagbenta ka pag si associate nagbenta ka investor or vice versa, ano nangyari? Nagbenta ka sa sarili mo. Nagkaroon ka ng transaction sa sarili mo. So, kailangan mong i-eliminate yung transaction na yun kasi parang niloloko mo lang yung sarili mo. Nagbenta ka sa sarili mo, baliw ka na. Okay? Ganun yun. Pero sa libro ni investor, kailangan mo siyang i-record kasi sale talaga siya. Sa libro ni associate, kailangan mo siyang i-record kasi sale talaga siya. Pero kasi, may requirement na si investor and si associate magpre-prefer ng iisang financial statement. Doon sa iisang financial statement, dapat wala yung transactions nilang dalawa. Kasi nagbenta ka lang sa sarili mo nga. Okay? So, yun. Sige, anong sabi dyan? Yung inventory daw, yung cost daw is at 900,000. Or binenta daw ni associate ng 900,000. So, ano yan? Selling price. Tama. Yung cost daw ng inventory nasa 600,000. So, si associate daw, yung cost daw is nasa 600,000. Okay. Himay-himay natin to ha. Kasi nakakalito talaga. This inventory remained unsold by Aura on December 31, 2025. However, it was sold by Aura in 2026. Sige, 2025 muna tayo ha. Ngayon, point of view tayo ni investor. Si investor, bumili. Tama? Bumili siya kay associate ng inventory. So, anong entry mo? Debit ka ng inventory, tapos credit ka ng cash. Tama? Nagbayad ka ng cash. Let's assume binayaran mo cash. At the amount of, paano mo siya i-record? 900,000. Kuha mo? Tama? Kasi binenta sa'yo ni associate. Anong alam mo na cost? Yung selling price, 900,000. So, anong cost ng inventory mo as an investor? 900,000. Hindi mo alam yung cost na 600,000. Anong entry ni associate? Sige, anong entry ni associate? Debit siya ng sales or debit siya ng cash. Associate. Siyempre, naka-receive siya ng cash. Magkano? 900,000. Tapos, credit siya ng sales. Kasi nagbenta siya, meron siyang sales na 900,000. May isa pang entry, tama, yung cost of goods sold. Debit ka ng cost of goods sold. Magkano? Yung cost niya, 600,000. Tapos credit siya ng inventory, 600,000. Kuha mo ngayon yan. Kuha mo. Sige. Ito ngayon. Si investor, tapos si associate, magpre-prepare ng isang financial statement. So, ibig sabihin, yung cash, yung asset, yung liabilities, and yung equity, pagsasamahin nilang dalawa. Usapang net effect. Kung si investor nag-record ng credit cash na 900,000, tapos si associate nag-receive ng cash na 900,000, anong net effect niyan? Nag-debit ka ng 900, nag-credit ka ng 900, zero effect. Pwede mo nang i-cancel yan. Tama? Zero effect naman yan eh. Kasi ang goal natin dapat itong transaction na yan, ma-eliminate yan. Si cash, parang eliminated na. Nag-debit si investor, nag-credit si investor, nag-debit si associate. Sa consolidated financial statement, zero yan. Kuha mo yan? Kuha mo Sana nakuha mo. Ganun yan. Okay? Okay. Next. Inventory. Si inventory, kung mapapansin mo, asset yan, tama? So, si inventory, nag-debit siya ng 900,000, nag-credit siya ng 600,000 dito. So, pwede mo bang eliminate? Yes, eliminate mo na. Pero merong sobra na 300,000. So, ibig sabihin, yung inventory mo sa consolidated financial statement, overstated ng 300,000. Kasi yung entry ni investor, nag-debit siya ng inventory, tapos si associate, nag-credit ng inventory, dapat magkano yung value ng inventory mo? Dapat 600,000 lang. Kasi as if, hindi ka naman talaga bumili ng inventory. Kasi binili mo yung inventory sa sarili mo lang din. Kuha mo yan. So, saan nanggaling ngayon yung inventory na overstated yan? Na overstatement. Nanggaling yan dito. Sa sales and sa cost of goods sold. Kung mapapansin mo, hindi pa eliminated yung sales and cost of goods sold. Kailangan mong i-eliminate yan. Kasi as if wala dapat sales, walang cost of goods sold. Nag-credit ka ng sales, nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold. Anong net effect yan? Tama? Gross profit. Naka-profit ka dyan, tama? Magkano profit mo dyan? 300,000 din. Overstated yung excess, yung income mo ng 300,000. Overstated yung gross profit mo ng 300,000. Yung gross profit, papasok saan? Sa net income. Kuha mo yun? Ganyan muna tayo Ngayon yung inventory, i-eliminate mo yan sa libro ni financial statement. Alisin mo yan dapat. Dapat yung inventory mo lang naka-value at 600,000. Ito lang dapat. Hindi 900,000. Ngayon yung gross profit mo, dyan tayo mag-focus. Yung net income mo ngayon, overstated din ng 300,000. Tama? Kasi si associate, nag-recognize ng net income na 300,000 pero dapat wala namang net income yan. Kuha mo yon kasi dapat nga wala ka namang income kasi nagbenta ka sa sarili mo lang din. Okay? Okay, observe mo ganun yon. Ganyan yung scenario, ganyan yung explanation bakit kailangan mong i-eliminate. Okay? Ganyan din yung scenario bakit kailangan mong alisin itong gross profit na 300,000. So let's move on muna. Next paragraph, in December 2026, the associates sold inventory to Aura for 750,000. 2026 daw, nagbenta na naman din si Aura ng 750,000 and the cost of the inventory was 500,000. So, lagpasan na natin itong ganitong illustration. Upstream pa rin yan. Tama. Lagpasan na natin yung entry natin na to. From the numbers itself, pwede na natin i-conclude that inventory are overstated ulit by magkano? 750 less 500, nasa 250,000. Ngayon, meron ka na namang gross profit which is overstated ng 250,000. Kuha mo yan? Okay. Okay. Hindi pala nakikita to, no? Gross profit na 300,000. Ganyan. Next, punta tayo sa requirements. Letter A, determine the investor's share in the profit of the associate for 2025. Hanapin daw natin yung investor shares in the profit of the associate for 2025. Magkano share ni investor? Kano? 20%, tama. Magkano yung profit ng 2025? 3 million, tama. Anong gagawin mo dyan? 3 million times 25%. Magkano yan? Nasa 750,000. Pag sinagot mo yung 750,000, loko, mali yung sagot mo. Nakita mo sa choices, letter A, 750,000. Binilugan mo yung 750,000 kasi ganun lang naman yung concept. Yung net income ni associate, 25% niyan yung share ni investor. Anong tanong? Yung share daw ni investor sa profit ni associate. 750,000 yan. 3 million times 25%. Loko. Or 20% pala lang, no? 20% lang pala. Loko ako. Mali na talaga. Magkano to? 20%? 600,000. Take note ha. Wag ganyan, wag ganyan. Bakit? Bakit? Kasi isipin mo, yung net income na 3 million na to, kasama yung net income na to ng 2025. Ano sabi natin? Overstated yung net income mo ng 300,000. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, yung 3 million, overstated ng 300,000. Anong gagawin mo? Alisin mo yung 300,000 para mag-reflect yung actual o yung totoong net income mo. Yung real net income mo. Less mo yan, this is 2,700,000. Tsaka mo lang ngayon i-multiply ng investor's share na 20%. So, 2,700,000 times 20%, 540,000. Yan yung totoong sagot. Ito yung mali natin. Kuha mo. Sana gets mo yan, ha? Ginawa ko ng simple yung pag-discuss and concise sa abot ng makakaya ko. So, sagot natin dito for requirement A, 540,000. Guys, mahirap talaga yung topic, ha? Okay? Nakakalito talaga itong topic na to. Lalo na si intercompany transactions. So, ginagawa ko siya, ini-explain ko siya ng mas madali para sa inyo. Sinusubukan ko yung kaya ko. Kaya minsan, kung mapapansin mo, inuulit-ulit ko para mas mag-realize sa utak mo. Sana makatulong. Okay? Kung hindi, kung nalilito ka, sabi ko nga, you can always approach me. You can always message me. Sasagutin ko yung tanong mo. Okay? Sige. Requirement B. Determine the investor's share in the profit of the associate for 2026. O 2026 naman daw. Magkano yung share ni investor? 20% pa rin tayo, tama? 2026, magkano yung profit? You know, 4 million net income. Tama? 4 million. Oh, wag mong i-multiply directly ng 20%. Okay, nagkamali na tayo kanina. Wag mo nang ulitin yung pagkakamali mo. Bakit? Kasi kailangan mo ngang ibawas. Kasi nga, overstated siya ng 250,000. So, less ka ng 250,000. Oh, magkano yan? 4 million less 250,000, 3,750,000. I-multiply mo ng 20%, that is 750,000. Nakita mo sa choices, 750,000. Boom! Loko. Mali ka na naman. Sir, bakit mali? Ginawa ko na nga yung ginawa mo kanina. Bakit? To, sabi however, it was sold by Aura in 2026. Oh, 2025, naisip mo, overstated ka ng 300,000. Yung net income mo na 300,000 na to, nakapasok yan dito sa net income mo ng 2025. Naibenta mo siya outside the party. Si Aura daw naibenta na outside sa third party. Hindi na sa kapwa o sa sarili niya. So, ibig sabihin, na-realize na talaga yung income. So, yung 300,000 na to, realized income na yan. Kailan realized income? 2026. Kailan mo ni-record? Nasa 2025. So, anong gagawin mo? Yung income mo ng 2026 na 4 million, yes, overstated yan ng 250,000 dahil dito sa transaction na to. Dahil dyan. Anong hindi mo naisip? Understated ngayon yung 4 million pesos. Bakit? Dahil dito sa transaction ng 2025. Paano sir? Paano sir? Nalilito na ako. Simple lang. Ni-recognize mo yung gross profit na 300,000 kailan? 2025. Kailan mo ba talaga siya income? Nung nabenta mo siya outside the party, 2026. Naka-recognize mo siya dito? Hindi. So, kailangan mo yang isama dyan. Kuha mo. So, dito, tama na yung ginawa mo dito, pero meron ka pang kailangang i-add. Yung gross profit mo before ng 2025 na hindi mo na-recognize ng 2026 kasi na-ibenta na siya ng 2026. So, plus ka dito ng 300,000. So, 3,750 plus 300,000. This is 4,050,000 times 20%. Nasa 810,000. Yan yung total share ni Aura sa profit ni associate. So, sagot natin dito, 810,000. Okay? Oh, kang malilito ha? Huwag mong kakalimutan yan. Okay, huwag mong kakalimutan. Sana natutunan mo, sana naintindihan mo ng malinaw na malinaw. Yes, for the first time sigurado malilito ka. Sakit sa ulo ka, pero promise masaya to pag na-master mo. Take note, itong intercompany transactions na to, itong concept na tinuturo ko for this problem illustration number 3, gagamitin mo yan sa upper subjects mo. Makakatulong kung dito pa lang investment in associate na master mo na. Makakatulong yan. Promise talaga. Okay? Sige, requirements tayo na. Requirement C, prepare the journal entries on the books of Aura in relation to the investment in associates. Entryhan lang natin. Noong January 1, 2025, ano nangyari? Bumili ka, tama, ng investment, 6 million. Anong entry mo? Debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng cash at the amount of 6 million. Next, December 31, 2025. Anong entry mo? Tama, meron ka ng share sa 2025 net income mo na 540,000. So, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng cash of 540,000. Ano pa yung possible entries natin ng December 31, 2025? Yung binayaran na dividends. Nagbayad daw ng dividends na 1 million. Magkano share mo dyan? 1 million times 20%, 200,000. So, anong entry mo pagka dividends? Debit ka ng cash kasi naka-receive ka ng cash. Tapos, ibawas mo yan sa investment in associate mo na 200,000. Okay, equity method tayo dito. PAS 28. Next, December 31, 2026. Anong entry mo? Nagkaroon ka ng income. Magkano share mo? Yan o, 810,000. So, debit ka ng investment in associate. Mali pala yung credit cash ko dito. Hindi na sinabi. Sa bagay, hindi kita narinig. Debit ka ng investment in associate dito. Credit ka ng share in net income of 540,000. So, for December 31, 2026, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng share in net income, magkano? 810,000. Tapos, nagbayad ulit ng dividends, 1,500,000. Magkano share mo? 20%. Ilan yan? 1,500,000 times 20%, 300,000. So, anong entry mo? Naka-receive ka ng cash. babawasan mo yung investment in associate mo ng 300,000. Dapat master mo na yung entries ha. Lagyan natin ng T account. Bakit mag-T account? Kasi sabi, okay na tayo sa C. Sabi, determine the carrying amount of the investment in associate on December 31, 2026. So para ma-solve mo yan, gawa ka lang T account mo. January 1, 2025, nag-debit ka ng investment in associate, 6 million. Tapos nag-debit ka, investment in associate, 540,000. Nag-credit ka ng investment in associate, 200,000. Nag-debit ka ulit, 810,000. Nag-credit ka ulit, 300,000. Balito na ako, bakit mayroon yan? Nandito yan. Credit ka, 200,000. Magkano total mo dito? 6,850,000. So, yan yung carrying amount of the investment in associate on December 31, 2026. Yan si illustration number 3. Masaya talaga sagutan yan, promise. Intercompany transactions. Sana ma-master mo. Next tayo, illustration. Illustration number 4. Sige, ano sabi dyan? Requirement lang, prepare the journal entries. Sabi, on January 1, 2025, Company X acquired 30% of Company Y's voting shares for 8 million. During 2025, Company Y earned 5 million and paid dividends of 2 million. Entryhan na natin yun. January 1, 2025. Ano nangyari? 30% daw nag-invest ka. May significant influence? Yes. Kung may significant influence, investment in associate. Anong entry mo? Debit ka investment in associate. Credit ka ng cash. Magkano yung binayad mo? 8 million. Yun na yun. O ano pa nangyari? Sabi daw, 2025, December na yan, earned, Company Y daw, si associate, earned 5 million pesos. Magkano share mo dyan? 30%. So, 5 million times 30%, 1,500,000. So, nung entry mo pag meron kang share sa net income, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng share in net income at the amount of 1,500,000. Sir, paano na naman nasolve yung 1,500,000? Uulitin ko, dahil yun dito sa 5 million na income, times mo lang ng 30%. Ano yung 30%? Ito. Yung share mo. Okay. Next, masabi, nagbayad daw ng dividends, 2 million. Anong entry mo? Debit ka ng cash. Credit ka ng investment in associate. Magkano yung binayad? 2 million. So, magkano share mo? 30%. So, 2 million times 30%, that is around 600,000. So, debit ka ng cash, credit ka ng investment in associate of 600,000. Paano na-solve yan? 2 million times 30%. 2 million to, tapos yung share mo na 30%. Kuha. Okay. Sana nakuha. Sana. Next. Sabi daw dito, Company Y reported earnings of 6 million for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026. And 8 million for the year ended December 31, 2026. Sige, so entryhan natin yan. June 30, 2026 daw. June 30, 2026. Nagkaroon daw ng income na 6 million. Magkano share mo dyan? 30%. So, debit ka ng investment in associate. Credit ka ng share in net income. 30% ng 6 million is nasa 1,800,000. Okay, para na-solve yung 6 million na to times 30%. Next, and 8 million for the year ended December 31, 2026. Sige, tsaka na yan pag nasa December 31 na tayo. Umpisahan muna natin to kasi nasa July 1 daw. On July 1, 2026, Company X daw sold half of the investment in Company Y for 6 million. Binenta daw niya yung kalahati ng investment in associate niya sa halagang 6 million. resulting to loss of significant influence. Yun na yun. Ito yung dinidiscuss ko dati or last meeting, loss of significant influence. Company Y paid dividends of 2,500,000 on October 1. October 1 naman na yan. So, focus tayo sa July 1. Okay, gawa muna tayong T-account. T-account ng investment in associate natin. Tama, nag-debit ka ng 8 million. Nag-debit ka ng 1,500,000. Nag-credit ka ng 600,000. 2025, magkano tayo? Nasa 8,900,000 yan. Plus, minus. Plus 8 million plus 1.5 less 600,000. 8,900,000, 2025. Tapos 2026, June 30, nag-debit ka ng investment in associate, 1,800,000. So by July, nung nagbentahan, July 1, 2026, yung total ending balance ng investment in associate mo, nasa 10,700,000 na. 8,900,000 plus 1,800,000. Anong sabi? Binenta mo daw yung kalahati. Magkano yung kalahati nito? Magkano kalahati nito? Divide mo lang ng 2. 10,700,000 divided by 2. Nasa 5,350,000. So, alisin mo daw yung 5,350,000 dito. Credit ka ng 5,350,000 kasi naibenta mo na yan. So, ending balance mo na 5,350,000 na lang. So, anong entry mo dyan? Nagbenta ka. So, by July 1, ibig sabihin, by July 1, 2026, naka-receive ka ng cash. Ano yung na-receive mong cash? Ito, 6 million. Tama, naka-receive ka ng 6 million. Yan yung pinagbentahan mo. Tapos, pagka-credit ka, magkano yung inalis mo sa investment in associate, yung binenta mo? Yan, 5,350,000. So, credit ka, investment in associate of 5,350,000. Sir, hindi balance yung debit and credit. Merong difference na. Magkano difference? 650,000. Tama. Ano yung 650,000? Nasa credit tayo. Gain yan. Meron ka nga yung gain. Nagbentahan dito, di ba? So, gain on sale. Magkano gain of sale? Gain on sale, 650,000. So, entry mo ng July 1, 2026, debit cash, credit gain on sale, credit investment in associate. Kuha. Sige. Ngayon. Before, itong 10,700,000, ilang percent yan? 30%. Binenta mo yung kalahati. Ilan na lang tira? 15% ownership. May significant influence? Wala. So kung walang significant influence, gagamitin mo pa ba investment in associate account? Hindi na. Tama. Ano nang gagamitin natin? Hindi na PAS 28 but rather PFRS 9 na tayo. Okay, PFRS 9 na. Balikan natin yung illustration. Sabi dyan, on July 1, 2026, the investment is measured at fair value through other comprehensive income. Yun na, sabi. FVOCI na daw yung classification. The fair value of the retained investment is 6,500,000 on July 1, 2026 and 5,900,000 on December 31, 2026. So, meron ka pang additional entry ng July 1, 2026. Sir, ano yun? Yan yung magre-reclassify ka na. Kasi tina mo, magkano binenta? 5,350,000. So, yung investment in associate mo, may tira pang 5,350,000. Kaso, hindi mo na dapat yan investment in associate, but rather FVOCI na. So, i-credit mo na yan. Credit ka ng investment in associate, 5,350,000. Tapos, mag-debit ka ngayon ng investment at FVOCI kasi i-reclassify mo nga to as an investment at FVOCI. Anong entry mo dyan? Debit investment in associate. Magkano amount? 5,350,000 ba? No. Bakit? Balik ka ngayon sa concept mo ng PFRS 9. Investment at FVOCI must be classified or must be subsequently measured at or initially measured and subsequently measured at fair value. Tama? Fair value plus transaction cost pag initial measurement, fair value kapag subsequent measurement. Magkano ba fair value ng investment mo daw? Sabi ito, 6,500,000. So yung entry mo dito, 6,500,000. Debit ka ng investment at FVOCI of 6,500,000, credit ka ng investment in associate of 5,350,000. Diba? So, hindi na naman balance yung debit and credit natin. O, ibig sabihin, meron kang gain. O, ano yung gain mo yan? Sale ba? May bentahan ba? Wala. Ano nangyari sa transaction? Reclassification. So, anong tawag mo dyan? Gain on reclassification. Magkano? 6,500,000 less 5,350, 1,150,000. So, yan yung entry mo na isa for July 1, 2026. Okay, so sa investment in associate account mo, magki-credit ka ngayon ng 5,350,000 dito. So, yung ending balance mo na dito, 0 na. Okay, tapos gagawa ka ngayon ng panibagong T account, FVOCI, nag-debit ka ng 6,500,000. Kuha mo yun? Dapat nakuha mo yan. Sige. Next. October 1, 2026. Nagka-entry ka, di ba? October 1, 2026. Ilagay na lang natin dito. So, October 1, 2026. Anong sabi sa October 1, 2026? Company Y paid dividends of 2,500,000. Oh, ano nangyari? Naka-receive ka ng cash. Cash of 2,500,000. Magkano share mo? 15% na lang, tama? So, 2,500,000 times 15%, that is 375,000. So, naka-receive ka ng cash na 375,000. Paano na-solve yan? 2,500,000 times 15%. Ito, times 15%, ito. Wow. Sige. So, anong credit mo? Nag-debit ka ng cash. Ano kang credit mo? Sige, tanongin kita, anong credit mo dyan? O, dito. Anong credit mo pag nagkaroon ka ng investment or ng dividends? Debit cash, credit investment in associate. Eh, anong credit mo ngayon dito? Investment in associate? Ay, loko. Hindi na tayo PAS 28 dito. PFRS 9 na tayo, tama? So, ano na? Balik ka ngayon sa concept ng PFRS 9. Discussion natin nung yung mga previous discussions natin. Pag naka-receive ka ng cash, anong entry mo? Debit cash. Or naka-receive ka ng cash dividend, anong entry mo? Debit cash, credit, dividend income. Yun, kuha mo. Galing. Debit credit ka ng dividend income of 375,000. Yan for October 1, 2026. Next, December 1, 2026. Sabi daw, fair value daw, 5,900,000 na. Entryhan mo din yan. Yes. Bakit? Kasi FVOCI tayo eh. Babalik ka nga sa concept ng PFRS 9. December 31, 2026, yung value mo daw, 5,900,000 na before 6,500,000. So, dapat ending balance mo dito, 5,900,000. So, meron kang X dito na, ilan to? 600,000. Yung 600,000 ang tatawagin natin dyan, unrealized loss. So, paano entry mo? Debit ka ng unrealized loss, FVOCI. So, lipat mo ng OCI yan. Credit ka ng investment at FVOCI of 600,000. So, yan yung entry for illustration number 4. Okay, yung gusto lang ituro ng illustration number 4, paano kapag nawala yung significant influence. Okay, sana ha, sana na-absorb pa, sana. Malaki tiwala ko sa'yo, alam ko na-absorb mo pa yan. Next tayo, illustration number 5. Okay, yan, nasabi sa illustration number 5. Sabi, magiging CPA company owns 15,000 shares out of 100,000 outstanding shares. O, si magiging CPA daw, 15,000 daw yung pagmamayari ng 100,000. Ilang percent yan? 15%. May significant influence? Wala. Tama. Next, magiging CPA also holds 20,000 stock rights daw, which enable it to acquire additional Aura Corporation shares on a 2 right for 1 share basis. Sabi daw may stock right daw si magiging CPA. Si magiging CPA ng 2 rights for 1 share. Ilan daw yung rights niya? 20,000. 2 rights for 1 share, so ibig sabihin, possible na magkaroon ng additional 10,000 share si magiging CBA kapag in-exercise niya yung stock right niya. Tama? Ngayon sabi, the stock rights are exercisable immediately. However, magiging CBA, management does not intend, does not intend to exercise the stock right. Anong sabi ko sa discussion ko last meeting? Yung stock rights, regardless kung i-exercise or hindi. Anong gagawin natin? I-consider mo yung stock right kapag hahanapin mo yung significant influence. Okay? Pag hahanapin mo yung significant influence, kailangan mong i-consider yan. Okay? Next. Aura Corporation does not have any other stock rights outstanding aside from those held by magiging CPA. Next, Aura Corporation reports profit of 1 million pesos and pays cash dividend of 100,000. The investment has a carrying amount of 300,000 at the beginning of the period. Requirement, determine the share in profit of the associate. Tanong na ngayon, may significant influence ba? 15% lang Check natin. Pag in-exercise yung 10,000 shares. Okay? Kung before, 15,000 shares, yung pagmamay-ari niya, plus 10,000 shares, magiging 25,000 shares. Tama? Since 100,000 shares before, tapos magkakaroon ng additional 10,000 shares, so magkano yung total outstanding shares? 110,000 shares. So, tingnan mo, magkano yung ratio, ilang percentage ngayon yan? 25,000 divided by 110,000, 22.7%. 23%. May significant influence? Meron. Kung may significant influence, anong gagamitin natin? PAS 28. Okay? Requirement daw. Determine the share and profit of the associate. Magkano profit daw? 1 million. 1 million yung profit. Tama. 1 million yung profit. Ilan yung share mo ulit ngayon? Sige, tanong ko. Ilan yung share mo para ma-solve mo yung profit na share niya? 23% ba? Hindi. Anong gagamitin mo? 15% pa rin. So, times mo to ng 15%. 1 million times 15%, 150,000. So, sagot natin for requirement A, 150,000. So, ito yung sinasabi ko last meeting sa concept natin. Sabi ko, kapag meron kang stock right, i-consider mo yun sa paghanap kung may significant influence ka ba. Kung may significant influence, ang standard na gagamitin, PAS 28, investment in associate tayo. Pero, or sabi pa doon, however, sabi pa doon, regardless kung gagamitin mo or kung intention mong gamitin yung stock right or hindi, kailangan mo pa rin i-consider. Pero, sabi ko noon, pero kapag so-solve mo yung share mo sa profit or sa dividends, anong gagamitin mo? Yung actual percentage. Hindi ito na as if lang. Ito tayo sa actual 15%. Kuha mo yan? Yan yung tinuturo ko Ngayon, nag-materialize na. Kasi nag-solve na tayo ng problem. Sana nag-gets mo na yung tinuro ko na concept last time. So, letter B, determine the carrying amount of the investment at the end of reporting period. T-account lang natin yan. Kahit wala pang journal entry, T-account lang natin yan. Sabi, beginning balance ng investment mo nasa 300,000. Tapos, nagkaroon daw ng profit na 1 million. O may share ka dyan na 15%, 150,000. Anong entry mo dyan? Debit investment in associate. Credit ka ng share in net income. Nag-debit ka ng investment in associate, so meron kang plus na 150,000. Tapos, ano pa? Nagbayad daw ng cash dividend 100,000. Share mo dyan 15%, so 15,000. Credit yan. Tama, pag dividends. So yung ending balance mo, 300 plus 150 less 15,000, nasa 435,000. So sagot natin for requirement B, 435,000. Entryhan natin. Entry mo, beginning, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng cash. Magkano? 300,000. December 31, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng share in net income of 150,000. Tapos, meron kang dividend. So, debit ka ng cash, credit ka ng investment in associate of 15,000. Ayan lang. So, that's for illustration number 5. Kuha. Very good, ha? Very good, ha? Na. Next tayo. Illustration number 6. So, sabi sa illustration number 6, on January 120, X1, ABC Company purchased 25% interest in the ordinary share of XYZ. May significant influence ba? Yes. The ordinary share of XYZ Incorporation for 2 million pesos. Yung cost daw 2 million. XYZ's assets and liabilities approximate their fair values except for the following. Yung inventory daw, may carrying amount na 500,000 and yung fair value is nasa 100,000. Next, a depreciable asset with a carrying amount of 3 million has a fair value of 5 million. The asset has a remaining useful life of 10 years. XYZ's net assets have a book value of 5 million. On December 31, 2021, XYZ reported 1,200,000 profit and declared and paid dividends of 500,000. Determine the share in the profit of the associate. O, paano may susolve yan? Sabihin mo na naman. So, ganito lang yan. Ito ko lang susolve yan. 1,200,000 na profit times 25%, yung share ko, magkano yan? Nasa 300,000. Sir, yan ang sagot ko. Letter A, 300,000. Mali ka na naman. Bakit? I-analyze mo yung problem. Sabi daw yung problem, yung profit mo daw nasa 1,200,000. Okay? Profit mo 1,200,000. Anong profit yan? Profit yan ni, no? Profit yan ni XYZ. Okay? Ngayon, yung profit na XYZ, hindi niya kinonsider yung A and si B. Kasi naka-book value lang yan. Kung ano yung laman, kung ano yung nasa libro niya, yun lang yung gagamitin niya. Okay? Eh si ABC na investor, ano yung alam? Ano yung i-recognize? Yung fair value actually. Yung fair value ng inventory and yung fair value ng depreciable asset. I-ignore niya yung 100,000. And itong 5 million pesos. Kuha mo? So, i-analyze natin ha. Ito naman, si A. Yung inventory daw, carrying amount 500,000. Yung fair value, 100,000. Anong alam ni XYZ, ni associate? Yung inventory ko, 100,000. I-assume natin, binenta mo yung inventory mo. Anong entry mo? Debit ka ng cost of goods sold, credit ka ng inventory at the amount of 100,000. Ito yung point of view ni XYZ. Pero anong alam ni ABC? Si ABC ang alam niya, 500,000. So, dapat yung entry mo, debit ka ng cost of goods sold, credit ka ng inventory of 500,000. Kuha mo? So, anong naging effect? Sa profit lang tayo. Ano yung profit natin? Nakaka-affect sa income statement natin, cost of goods sold. Kung i-analyze mo, tama, ito yung ni-recognize, pero ito dapat yung i-recognize. Kasi ito yung alam ni ABC. So, ibig sabihin, understated yung cost of goods sold ng 400,000. Okay? So, ganyan yan. So kung yung income ni XYZ na 1,200,000, gawin natin red. Kung yung income ni XYZ na 1,200,000, yung cost of goods sold na nandyan is 100,000, pero dapat yung cost of goods sold na nandyan is 500,000. Ibig sabihin, overstated tong 1,200,000 ng 400,000. So, anong gagawin natin? Ibawas natin yung overstatement. 400,000. Kuha mo yan? Sana nakuha mo. Yan na yung simplest discussion. Diyan. Pag binasa mo yan sa libro, baka malito ka pa. B tayo. A depreciable asset with a carrying amount of 3 million has a fair value of 5 million. Entry na naman natin. I-illustrate na naman natin. Imaginein lang natin to actually, okay? Ganito lang yung technique sa pag-solve ng mga problems na mahihirap. Imagination. talaga. Okay? Kung wala kang imagination, lagot tayo dyan. Sige, imaginein mo. Point of view ni XYZ, yung PPE ko is 3 million. Pero sa point of view ni ABC, yung PPE ko is 5 million. Kasi yan yung fair value. Okay? O ngayon, ano nakaka-apekto dyan sir sa income statement? Parehas asset lang yan. Tama pag PPE, magde-depreciate ka. Merong depreciation expense. Merong depreciation expense. Yan yun. Yan yung effect niyan. Oh. Tingnan mo. Remaining useful life daw 10 years. So, i-assume natin straight line method tayo. So, kung isinolve mo yung depreciation expense ni PPE under the point of view XYZ, divide mo lang yan ng 10 years. 3 million divided by 10 years, 300,000. Tama? Ngayon, sa point of view ni ABC, magkano dapat yung depreciation expense? 5 billion divided by 10 years, nasa 500,000. Oh, ito yung depreciation expense na naka-record. Ito dapat yung depreciation expense na naka-record. So, pwede natin sabihin na yung depreciation expense understated. Understated yung depreciation expense. Tama ba? Tama. Understated yung depreciation expense. So, kung understated yung depreciation expense, ibig sabihin, sobra yung depreciation expense mo dito ng 1,200,000 or kulang yung depreciation expense mo ng 1 million dito sa income mo na 1,200,000. Magkano? 200,000. So, ibig sabihin, bawasan mo yan ng 200,000. Kuha mo yan. Kuha mo. Sige. Eto. Nagkamali tayo guys. Namali ako ng tingin. Sabi pala dito, inventories has a carrying amount of 500,000 and a fair value of 100,000. So, ibig sabihin, sa point of view ng XYZ, yung na-recognize na cost of goods sold is nasa 500,000 pala. Tapos kay ABC, dapat nasa 100,000 lang. Anong susundin ulit natin? Yung point of view ni ABC. Yung fair value. Nabasa ko kasi kanina, book value 100,000. Sorry na. So, ulitin natin ha. Explain ulit natin para hindi ka malito. Baka may nalilito na ulit dyan. So, sa point of view ng XYZ, yung carrying amount ng inventory 500,000. So, magkano yung nirecognize mo na cost of goods sold? 500,000. Pero anong susundin mo? Yung nasa isip ni ABC. Ano yung nasa isip ni ABC? Yung cost of goods sold ko lang 100,000. So, ibig sabihin, kung yung cost of goods sold na nirecognize ko is 500,000, tapos dapat 100,000 lang, ibig sabihin yung cost of goods sold ko overstated ng 400,000. Kung sobra yung na-recognize ko na cost of goods sold, ibig sabihin kulang yung 1,200,000 ko na income. So, anong gagawin mo? Magpla-plus ka ng 400,000. Okay? Sorry for the error kanina ha. Namali lang ako ng basa dun sa letter A. So, solve natin. Net income. Income mo before unadjusted. Now, 1,200,000 plus yung 400,000 na overstatement ng cost of goods sold. Sir, bakit ko na ulit inad yung 400,000? Kasi imaginein mo, sa cost of goods, dito sa net income mo na 1,200,000. Tama. Dito, sales less cost of goods sold equals, sabihin na natin net income or gross profit na lang. Yung gross profit mo, 1,200,000. Tapos meron kang dinideduct dito na cost of goods sold. Okay? Ang sabi daw, overstatement. Ibig sabihin, yung overstatement, sobra yung cost of goods sold mo. Kung sobra yung binawas mo dito, pwede mong sabihin na kulang yung gross profit mo. Tama? Gawin natin amount. Sabihin na natin 1,200,000 plus 600. Sabihin na natin sales mo para mas maisip mo Gawin natin ng amount. Yung sales mo 1,800,000. So magkano yung cost of goods sold mo? 600,000. Tama? Yung 600,000 daw sobra ng 400,000. Kung sobra ng 400,000 yan, magkano dapat yung amount mo dyan? Dapat sales na 1,800,000. Yung cost of goods sold ko dapat sobra ng 400,000. So nasa 200,000 lang. So magkano gross profit natin? 1,800,000 less 200,000. 1,600,000. Tama? So yung 1,200,000 yung nakarecognize na net income, dapat 1,600,000. So ibig sabihin, kulang ng 400,000. Kung kulang ng 400,000, i-add mo yung 400,000 dito para mag-reflect yung tamang amount na 1,200,000. Okay? So ganyan yan. Okay, ganyan yan. Sana na-gets mo So same case yan sa 200,000 na depreciation expense. Okay, gawin natin. Ito pa. Let's say for example, yung gross profit mo before na 1,200,000, gross profit na, tapos net income kasi meron ka ditong depreciation expense. Sabihin na natin yung gross profit mo, alisin mo tong illustration na to. Sabihin na natin yung gross profit mo is nasa 2 million pesos. Tapos yung net income mo nasa 1,200,000. So magkano depreciation expense mo? 800,000. Sabi, understated daw yung depreciation expense mo. So, ibig sabihin, kulang yung depreciation expense mo ng 200,000. Kung kulang yung depreciation expense mo ng 200,000, kulang yung binawas mo dito, ibig sabihin, sobrang ngayon yung profit mo ng 200,000. Okay, so sabi dyan, understated yung depreciation expense natin, tama ng 200,000. Kung understated yung depreciation expense natin, kulang ng 200,000 yung depreciation expense mo dito. Kung kulang ng 200,000, ibig sabihin, sobra ngayon yung net income mo ng 200,000. So, gawin natin numbers. Gross profit mo before, 2 million. Dapat yung depreciation expense mo, since kulang ng 200,000, dapat nasa 1 million pesos. Tama. So, magkano net income mo? 1 million na dapat. Magkano na-recognize mo before? 200. Magkano yung net income mo dapat? 1 million. So, sobra ng 200,000. So, anong gagawin mo? Ibawas mo ngayon yung 200,000. Kaya dito, less ka ng 200,000. So, net income mo for that is 1,200,000 plus 400 less 200. 1,400,000. Yan yung adjusted net income. Tapos mo i-multiply ng 25% yung share mo. 1,400,000 times 25%, 350,000. Ano yung tinatanong? Requirement 1, determine the share in the profit of associate, 350,000. Okay. Okay. Determine the carrying amount of the investment. Entry account tayo, investment in associate. Before, magkano? 2 million. Tapos yung share mo sa profit, 350,000. Tapos yung share mo sa dividend, 500,000. Multiply mo ng 25%. So, 500,000 times 25%, 125,000. Deduction yan. So, less ka ng 125,000. So, total ng investment in associate mo, carrying amount, 2,225,000. Yan yung requirement B. Requirement C, provide the journal entry. So, January 1, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng cash of 2 million. December 31, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng share in net income of 350,000. Then, debit ka ng cash, credit ka ng investment in associate for the dividends of 125,000. So, that's for illustration number 6. So, anong gusto ituro ng illustration number 6? Kapag magkaiba yung carrying amount and yung fair value na ni-recognize natin. Nang ni-recognize the investor and the associate. Okay. Nagets ha? Sige. Sige ako, nalilito na nga eh. Lagot tayo dyan. Last illustration tayo. Illustration number 7. Ano sabi dyan? Sabi dyan, on January 1, 2021, ABC Company acquired 10,000 shares out of 100,000 shares. Ibig sabihin, ilang percent yan? 10%. May significant influence? Wala. For 800,000 daw. The investment was classified as held for trading. Ibig sabihin, FVPL. So, entryhan natin yan. January 1, 20x1, debit ka ng investment at FVPL, credit ka ng cash of 800,000. December 31, 20x1. In 20x1 daw, the XYZ reported profit of 5 million and paid dividends of 1 million pesos. May effect ba yung profit kapag FVPL? Wala. Yung dividend, may effect ba? Yes, wala sa investment at FVPL, pero meron tayong entry dyan. Anong entry mo? December 31, debit ka ng cash kasi naka-receive ka ng dividend. Credit ka ng investment at FVPL ba? No. Ano? Dividend income. Credit ka ng dividend income at the amount of 100,000. Paano yung 100,000, sir? 10% yung share. Magkano yung dineclare? 1 million. 1 million times 10%. Wow. Okay. Next, the fair value of the shares on December 31, 20x1 is 85 pesos per share. Relevant ba sa atin? Yes. Bakit? Kasi FVPL must be subsequently measured at fair value. 85 pesos per share daw. Ilang shares tayo? 10,000 times 85, 850,000. So, yung ending balance ng FVPL mo dapat nasa 850,000. Kung T-account yan, 800,000, dapat ending balance mo 850,000. So, meron ka ditong debit na 50,000. Ano yan? Unrealized gain sa profit or loss. So, paano entry mo dyan? Debit ka ng investment at FVPL, credit ka ng unrealized gain sa profit or loss of 50,000. Kuha yan. Ngayon, sabi, the carrying amount of the investment on December 31, 2021 is 850. Nasolve naman natin yan kahit wala yan. Sabi, on July 1, 20x2, ABC Company acquired additional 15,000 shares at the fair value of 70 pesos per share. Ending balance ng FVPL mo, 850. Tapos sabi, 15,000 bumili daw ulit. So kung before, 10,000 plus 15,000, ilan na to? 25,000. Yung outstanding shares mo before, 100,000 plus additional shares, 15,000, nasa 115,000. Ilan yung percentage nito? 25 divided by 115, nasa 22% na. May significant influence? Yes, may significant influence. So, anong gagawin natin? Reclassify natin to as an investment in associate. Paano ngayon natin i-entryhan yan? So, by July 1, 20x2, debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng cash. Yung additional shares na binili mo, 15,000 shares. Tama? At the amount of 70 pesos. So, 15,000 times 70 pesos, this is nasa 1,050,000. Kuha. Okay. Tapos, alisin mo yan dito. Mag-less ka ng 850,000 kasi magre-reclassify ka na para ma-zero to. So, anong entry mo? Debit ka ng investment in associate, credit ka ng investment at FVPL. Alisin mo yung 850,000, credit ka ng 850,000. Tapos, ano yung debit mo? Investment in associate. Anong amount? Dapat nasa cost. Ano yung cost? 70 pesos. Ilan yung shares mo dito? 10,000. So, 10,000 times 70 pesos, nasa 700,000. So, debit mo dito, 700,000 lang. Sir, kulang yung debit ko ng 150. Ano yan? Loss. Anong loss yan? Reclassification. Loss on reclassification of 150,000. So, itong illustration number 7, yung gustong ituro nito, kapag nagkaroon ka ng step method. Or, nagkaroon ka bigla ng gain. Nagkaroon ka bigla ng significant influence. Okay? Sana malinaw si investment in associate. Pag may questions, tanong ka lang. So, that's it muna for our topic of investment in associate. Sana next week, no? Face to face na. Kasi, sobrang dami na nating nalagpasang quizzes. Lagot ka dyan. So, yun lang muna. Have a good day. Keep safe, everyone. Always be happy. Ciao!